from your experience, what normally comes in the way? And, from the manager's perspective, Gen Z's perspective, what should they keep in mind?
Okay, so I think to begin with, right, let's talk about the fundamental of what seems to be, a decent kind of fair observation. And the 360, it doesn't have to be formal, but basically being open to sources of 360 feedback from every stakeholder that the person touches is important. So it could be a stakeholder who is a customer, it could be a stakeholder who's a supplier, a vendor, whatever. I think, first of all, for both parties to be open and to actually take into account asking how did I come across. My intention was to do X, Y, Z. Uh, what was the recipient's feeling at the end of the day about how that service was actually delivered? Right, that's the first thing. Now, from a manager's viewpoint, what I found over the years is that the managers have a great deal of discomfort in providing two things. Praising, they don't actually praise or encourage, and they're very stingy about it because when I ask them, why are you so stingy with praise? And it is about the fear. And the fear, and this actually comes back to Asian parenting, right? You do not want to praise a child because they get too swell headed and then they become arrogant. That's the major fear. And then for many of these managers, they say, if I started saying to Nikhil 80 times, great compliments, and then 20 times I'm, maybe being critical, then during the performance appraisal, Nikhil will challenge me to say, why have you given me, meet expectations when 80% of the time you told me I'm really absolutely wonderful, right? So there's all this basic fear that's holding back, and they often do not have truthful, honest conversation. So crucial conversations are a skill that the leaders actually need. Now, on the part of the Gen Zs, it is still this whole question of politics and political dynamics and learning the art of actually saying no, positively negative, as Stephen Krempel's our book is all about. So I like what Stephen says, right? And in many ways, it's a plug to him because he's teaching people you can actually provide negative feedback without coming across as negative, but really much more positive about it. So it's a skill that I think everyone needs to learn, particularly Gen Z, who are scared to death of what happens if I say something, particularly in the culture when I make my boss lose face. So this whole issue of face becomes a real problem in the Asian context because you hold back, and a lot of times, and that's the first thing. Secondly, they hold back when they see that the manager is not responsive to the change. Example, you want feedback. I tell you what my feedback is all about, and I see no change. So after a while, I give up, right? So those are the actual human problems in any kind of communications in terms of execution. Because if you don't have the honest, conversation, you cannot maintain the standards and the quality of execution that you're looking for on both sides.